days of the explosion, secrets, and heartbreak, coming this week, March 30th through April 3rd. Okay, so if you've been watching Days of Our Lives for the past few years, you know that Salem is basically a magnet for absolute chaos. But what's coming this week? Buckle up, because we're talking blackmail, hidden hostages, and one of the most toxic love triangles brewing in real time. I'm breaking down everything the spoilers are hinting at. And trust me, there are some major red flags I think the show is trying to hide from us. Let's dive in. One, the EJ and Lexi hostage situation, all right? So here's where things get absolutely wild. EJ DiMera is sitting on a bomb, literally and figuratively. There's apparently some kind of explosion plot happening. And instead of, calling the police like a normal human being, EJ is trying to single-handedly stop it. But here's the thing, nobody's talking about, he's got Lexi Carver hidden somewhere while she's in some kind of unconscious state or medical emergency. Now, I need to be real with you, this is giving major EJ energy. If you've been watching DOOL since the DiMera family's glory days, you know that EJ has always had this messiah complex. He's convinced he's the smartest guy in the room, and he's always willing to bend the rules if it means he gets to protect someone. But keeping an unconscious woman hidden, that's not protection. That's a crime. Here's my theory. Lexi probably got caught up in whatever explosion plot is happening. Maybe she witnessed something. Maybe she was accidentally exposed to something dangerous, and instead of getting her proper medical help, EJ decided to play doctor and hide her. Classic move. And you know it's going to blow up in his face the second anyone finds out. The question is, what happens when Lexi wakes up? Is she going to be grateful? Or is she going to be absolutely furious that EJ made decisions for her without her consent? My money's on furious. That's the kind of mistake that creates permanent rifts in relationships. And if Lexi has any sense, she'll cut ties with EJ the moment she finds out what he's done. To Paulina's crumbling world. But wait, there's more. Because of course there is. Paulina Price is about to get absolutely squeezed by EJ's demands. And this is where things get really interesting, because Paulina is a woman who's already walking a tightrope. She's got a relationship with Abe Carver. She's got a complicated dynamic with Lexi, who, remember, is Abe's daughter, and now she's being blackmailed or coerced by one of the most dangerous men in Salem. Let me paint the picture. EJ's got leverage, right? He's got secrets, he's got resources, and most importantly, he's got zero moral compass when it comes to getting what he wants. So when he starts making demands of Paulina, she's in an impossible position. She can't just ignore him. The man clearly knows something dangerous. But she also can't keep caving to his demands forever without raising suspicion. And here's the crucial part that the spoilers are hinting at. All this pressure is going to crack her. Paulina's going to do something or say something that's going to make Abe suspicious. Maybe she'll be acting nervous. Or she'll have a sudden explanation that doesn't quite add up. Or maybe, and this is what I think is actually happening, Theo's going to pick up on it. Theo Carver is a smart kid. And he's already lost his mother once. He's hyper aware of when something's wrong with his family. And if Paulina suddenly starts acting weird or anxious, he's going to notice. And when he does, he's going to ask questions, probably to Abe, and that's when the whole house of cards comes down. The thing about Paulina that makes her such a compelling character is that she's fundamentally a good person who's made questionable choices. She's not Stefano DiMera. She didn't wake up wanting to be evil. She got caught in circumstances, and now she's trapped, watching her spiral as EJ tightens the noose. That's genuinely devastating television, because you can see exactly where she went wrong, and there's no easy way out. My prediction: by the end of this storyline, Paulina loses Abe's trust. Theo looks at her differently, and she'll have learned the hard way that you can't pay off a DiMera with demands. They always want more. 3, Sean and Jada, the spark nobody wanted. Okay. Shifting gears completely because we need to talk about Sean Brady and Jada Hunter. And look, I'm going to be controversial here because a lot of the fandom is split on this. But I think pairing these two together is setting up for absolute disaster. And I kind of love it. Here's the setup. Sean's going through some stuff. And the show wants us to believe that living with Jada while he recovers is a good idea. It's casual. It's convenient. It's definitely not going to create tension. Except, come on, did the writers forget about the chemistry these two had before? Let me remind you, Sean and Jada have history. Not like they dated for 3 years history. I'm talking about the kind of history where there's unresolved tension, there's attraction neither of them fully acknowledged, and there's absolutely zero chance they can live together without sparks flying. And not the good kind. The second Sean moves into Jada's place, things are going to get complicated. It always does on this show. Maybe it's an innocent moment where they're sharing coffee and accidentally brush hands. Maybe it's a vulnerable late night conversation where Sean's guard is down. Maybe it's Jada seeing him in a different light now that he's literally in her home every day. Whatever it is, that spark isn't just going to ignite, it's going to explode. And here's what makes this storyline interesting. It's not necessarily about them being perfect for each other. It's about two people with a history living in close quarters while one of them is emotionally vulnerable. That's a powder keg waiting to go off. What I think is going to happen is that they'll give in to the attraction. There'll be one night that changes everything. And then they'll both freak out about it. Sean will go back into his shell because he's focused on his recovery. Jada will convince herself it was a mistake because she doesn't want to complicate his healing process. But the damage will be done. They'll never be able to look at each other the same way again. And every interaction will be loaded with this weird tension. The tragedy here, and yes, I think there is tragedy in this storyline, is that sometimes the worst relationships are the ones between people with incredible chemistry but terrible timing. For Alex's spiral, the outsider looking in. Now, I want to talk about something that I think is being overlooked in all the EJ drama and the Sean Jada chemistry, Alex. Kyriakis is absolutely breaking, and nobody's talking about it. Alex is going through something that a lot of people experience but don't talk about. He's watching his wife bond with another man over a traumatic experience that he wasn't part of. Stephanie and Jeremy went through a kidnapping crisis together. They were in danger together. They survived together. And now they've got this unbreakable connection because of that shared trauma. And Alex, he's on the outside. He's the husband. But he wasn't there. He couldn't protect her. He couldn't save her. And now he's watching Stephanie look at Jeremy with this intensity and gratitude that he feels like he should be receiving from her as her actual spouse. That's not just jealousy. By the way, that's identity crisis. That's a man questioning whether he's actually necessary in his own marriage. Here's what the spoilers are telling us. Alex is struggling with insecurity and resentment, and he's trying so hard to keep it together. He's probably going around being pleasant to everyone, making jokes, trying to pretend like it's not eating him alive. But it is, and the effort of keeping it together is exhausting. What I think is going to happen, and this is based on how DOOL typically handles these storylines, is that Alex is going to reach a breaking point. It might not be this week. It might take a few weeks of accumulated resentment and hurt, but eventually he's going to snap. He'll either confront Stephanie about her closeness with Jeremy, or he'll do something stupid like go out drinking and make poor decisions, or he'll just withdraw completely and shut everyone out. And the reason I care about this storyline so much is because Alex is a legacy character in his own right. The Kyriakis family is huge in Salem history. Alex is supposed to be this confident, charismatic guy, but underneath that, he's always been a little bit insecure. He's always been trying to prove himself worthy of his family name. And now his marriage is